Yes?
You're back before the cargo container. You attempt to turn to your left. The lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. No reply. You attempt to turn the handle to your left. The lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. A rusting control panel with several. Crane does not return to no screech of metal when you push the button. Crane does not no screech of metal when you no screech of metal. Crane does not.
The unpromising race pupil returns. Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that. Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He had also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic. Jam, individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you? Okay, I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of
Meshhead stoically looks to the distance.
So, how'd you like our harbor? It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right, you talk to the boss, eye to eye. Like men of the... A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open? Of course, I got you. You don't know anything. I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. Polar weasel? Oh, I know what you mean. I'm pretty sure he's actually Oxy. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the wailing in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. None of this mess we're in, this jiving and juggling. What's it for? I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for. The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing? What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course. Your dead guy was an enemy combatant. He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts. I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
He means a more violent faction could easily take care of such a thing.
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. We're negotiating our share. Aye. All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process. I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman. I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties.
By that, you mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? The old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish. Okay, he's reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them. Sure thing.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on...
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock. The body is downwind from here.
We could try using a pry bar, the one you took from my motor carriage, or... Or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, "Whirling force time isn't happening." What is this? Your triceps ache. There's a creaking sound as the pry bar slips under the lid. You hang from it like a moron, huffing and puffing. Clearly the technique is...
Let's ask the manager. There must be another way into the building.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. You try to be a... Finally, the door... As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little dry. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. A little ring. There's something disdainful in the way the curves and lines. It looks like the artist is celebrating diversity, but underneath, he's just making fun of these people. You ain't gonna change someone's mind by calling them a bastard. The lieutenant picks up one of the mugs, then puts it...
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf.
Must be another way into the building.
A sturdy metal door. God, this could be a way into the apartment building the smoking man vanished into.
Good. We had enough problems with bums and drunks and thieves loitering in the hallway. You have no business here.
Madame, I assure you, we are...
There is no reply. Just faint, sweeping sound.
Good. We had enough problems with bums and drunks and thieves.
The door rattles again.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not living anymore. Doesn't matter who I am. Now, the police. Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No. I'll go check the backyard door. Maybe...
Backyard door. With the smoker. You already were there. Didn't work.
Good. We had enough problems with bums and drunks and thieves loitering in the hallway.
The door rattles again.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not living... The police. Everyone knows the police. No. I already... Go check the backyard door.
Backyard door. With the smoker. You already were there.
Madame, I...
There is no reply. Just faint, sweet...
You're back. Good. What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant... The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the...
$1 billion?
$20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest paid. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will... They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Easterlers. 2 centuries of care, deliberation, and... You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? Who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over.
With your help. Hopefully, says her warm tone.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. Why? By throwing off half a century of foreign domination under the coalition. Unfortunately for you, the...
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
But I am derailing us. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching.
Wait. She just admitted that the lynching and the strike are...
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Let's say I was not making the kind...
And when did you first...
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially...
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on
Heavens, no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more... Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than... There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say? Every worker.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every word. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume... And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, call me mañana.
This checks out.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks... It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institute, organized labor at its best.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, we are forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is... Indeed, and a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much the scabs... You mean the huddled masses of Jamrog come to plead for work where the Union refused?
Don't let her answer it herself.
If these strikebreakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then...
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running.
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the Union's files. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The point of the present...
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? You have. And how did you like Mr. Clare? Just? In what way? Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like, corrupt.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told. How could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person?
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about. Tell her she'll like you for it.
Oh. That's so helpful.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun? Did he now? Well, then it should be any day now. Unless, of course, he's lying to you. Anyway, was there anything else you've heard? Of course, Detective. Should something come up later, down the road, don't be afraid to... Until then, is there anything I can...
Wow, you work hard. Oh, yes, you hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real. Oh, yeah, like a horse, a workhorse. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. That's just what it's like, life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. It ain't easy, but you do it, day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop and a sprinter, and wasn't easy getting that giant novelty check from Everard. Took some ingenuity to get into the harbor. Sure. And has it been Are you rich? That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave, and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that? Boo-hoo. The system is broken. The establishment is keeping me down. That's not the fuck yeah attitude you're used to. Because of the taxes, G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky every time you wipe your ass. 98% of all your money. What are you, a racist? Don't be a racist. Be a cool immigrant, ultra-liberal free market advocate. Ride or die. Here you go, hustler. Fight the righteous fight. Free.